Hey guys. So, I've had again a lot of you messaging me and I love it. I love hearing from you and I'm so glad that my videos and my obedience are impacting you guys, even if it's in a small way. I love it. So today, I know it's super late in the day to be doing this, but I've got so much going on. It's crazy. So they were showing the house, and of course, my house was a disaster area because I'd been gone for the state fair for like 12 days total of setup and breakdown, and then all the days out there, 13 hours a day. And I have four boys that's all they do is make messes and stink and, make silly noises as you hear in the background in there. So life has been kind of chaotic, and so having to clean up for that, it's a little bit late in the day. But anyway, so a lot of you have messaged me and said, well, Shannon, how are you so calm throughout the season of your life? What is going on that you can be so peaceful when your world seems to be falling apart? And honestly, I have my moments. So you get to see the highlight reel on Facebook for sure. But also, I've noticed that when I stop focusing on my circumstances and just focus on my Savior, everything is much better. It's kind of like in Matthew 14 when Peter is in the boat and he sees Jesus on the water, and he actually calls out to Jesus and says, for him to call him out on the water if he really is the Savior. And so Jesus says, come. And Peter literally starts walking across the water and he's focusing on Jesus. But the minute he looks down, he sees the waves around him and the wind, and he feels that and he gets scared and he immediately starts to sink. And that's exactly what happens in my life. The calm that you see is only because I've focused on my Savior, because the minute I start looking at what's going around and what's being said about me or done to me, or, selling the house, or, thinking about divorce court or custody things and stuff like that, I do start thinking and I do start kind of panicking. So I do have to focus just on my Savior. And I was reading a book today, and it's cool because God has brought this out to me so many times about just focusing on Him and stop looking at circumstances. And a book last week that I was reading called Fervent actually said that circumstances can be a lie from Satan. And I always thought, there's no way a circumstance is a lie. Circumstances are reality. That's truth. But it's not, because it's all about how we perceive them. Just because something is happening doesn't mean that it's an eternal truth. Circumstances change all of the time. But anyway, this book was talking about Abraham and Sarah and when they were called out on their journey, and they had to be obedient to God, even when they didn't believe Him. And there's just one little quote in here that says, in His goodness, God helped Abraham and Sarah take their eyes away from the lens of the telescope of their present circumstances to see the entire sky of stars, saying, look toward heaven and number the stars. If you are able to number them, so shall your offspring be. Not just one son, but an entire sky worth of sons and daughters. And so in this story, if you think back to the Bible, Abraham and Sarah were told that they were going to have a son. And they looked at their circumstances and they panicked. And when they panicked, they tried to take things into their own hands. And it's a really cool story. But if you just look at the circumstances, there is no way that it should have happened the way that they were told it was going to happen from God. But the minute they start looking at what God can do, that's the minute He showed up for them. And so that's where I'm focusing on what God can do. Because some of you have said, oh, Shannon, God can't do that. And I have to just say back to you, have you met my God? Because my God can do anything beyond your wildest dreams. So y'all have fun today, but don't look around. Just look at Jesus.